Hello y'all, this is War Thunder, a video game by Gaijin Entertainment, and in this video we will be playing with the M4 Sherman, also known officially as the medium tank M4. Perhaps one of the most recognizable tanks of World War II, it was designed in 1940 as a replacement for the M3 Lee. The medium tank that would be nicknamed after the American Civil War General William Sherman would begin being produced in a non-prototype state in 1942, and this would go on until 1945. It proved cheap to produce, and that could have possibly contributed to there being nearly 50,000 of these things made by the end of the production run. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, this armored vehicle has enough variants that if you list them all off, you'd forget half of the names by the time you're done. I'm going to move the camera around a little bit so that we can see this beast of war from quite a few different angles. And this tank comes armed with a 75mm cannon, a 12.7mm machine gun, and another machine gun that is 7.62 millimeters. Let's look at the armor next. The M4 on the front has 50 millimeters for the hull and 76 millimeters for the turret. On the side and the rear, it is considerably weaker, with there being 38 millimeters on the hull and 50 millimeters for the turret. And as for the crew, there are 5 people, which I think is quite normal given the period this tank was made in. Now on to the fun part, battles. We're going to do a few ground, arcade, and realistic battles and just switch back and forth between them. The M4 has a battle rating of 3.7, so I expect to run into things like KV-1s, Stugs, and Panzer IVs. We're doing arcade first, and the battlefield is some desert. I'm going to help capture control points, and to do that I'm just going to follow a few of my teammates to the seat point on the right side of the map. I found a KV-1. I'm going to use my machine guns, and that's probably going to do nothing but scratch their paint, but hey, if they come out and that gives me a shot, that works. But I don't think I'm going to get a shot, and here comes my teammate at M4A2, and they're going to engage the enemy, and they're taking some damage, so I'm going to send out some smoke shells, and that will help provide cover, and hopefully they will be able to repair. The smoke is all over the place, so I'm going to try and use it as a chance to move up and surprise someone. And once we get up to this house, we may be able to see something, and there is a Panzer IV, so I'm going to shoot at with my machine gun. Oh, I died to another Panzer IV. Wow, that's a pretty accurate shot. That's crazy. I just died instantly. To recover from that, mistake, we have another M4 Sherman that's being used as a backup vehicle, and we're going to use it to try and take the uncaptured B point. We don't really seem to have many people there. They're mostly focused on the A point and whatnot, so anything we encounter will be a surprise, most likely. We're getting closer to our objective, but just as we're getting there, we see some enemy tanks up on a hill, and I think there may be an Italian anti-aircraft vehicle. I'm going to take a shot at a Panzer. I missed. I'm running into a rock. But with that said, let's use the machine guns on these Italian anti-aircraft vehicles, which have relatively light armor. After that little experience, we're going to move forward and try and make our way around some rocks and get to the point. But before we get there, there is another M4. We're going to blast it in the back, and it will be destroyed instantly. I'm sorry, fellow M4. Fate wanted us to be enemies. Almost at the place we want to be, and there is a M10 Wolverine, another American tank. It is a tank destroyer. It's just a sitting duck. I took out part of its crew, and now it's on fire. So that's not good for them at all, and it's just going to get destroyed here. We have a teammate behind them, and they're going to be the ones to destroy it. We got assist, which is fine. We got credited with that. There is a Churchill. We're going to use this as our second chance to blow up a tank, hit it from behind. It is attacked from a lot of different sides, so it just can't do anything about it. The poor British heavy tank takes a blow from the back, and boom. The M4 is hit by a German tank destroyer sitting on a hill, and it just hit the side of the turret, and all the crew was knocked out at the same time as a result of that round. Alright, now we're going to take part in a realistic ground battle. The map is Cargo Port. The enemy will have armored vehicles belonging to the USSR, France, and the UK, while we have the US, China, Germany, and Sweden. We're going to take our time getting to the A point and not really rush. We're rolling up to the objective with one of our teammates, a Panzer IVC, and the point is heavily contested, which isn't very surprising, and there is a Panzer IVH on our team up against the wall on the left, and they just got taken out by a KV-1, which should be a warning that we may encounter some opposition in this little area we're in. While trying to move behind a cargo container for cover, our M4 got hit in the rear and lit ablaze. I'm looking for a KV-1 to shoot at, and it is a little harder to locate enemies in realistic battles, which is just how it works, and I am firing at a building. I'm trying to find vaguely where the enemy tank is, and we got lit on fire again. If we don't get out of this situation, the tank will most likely be lost, and so will all of the crew inside of it. We're going to fire our machine guns at the last known position of the enemy, and we're going to roll forward once we have this tank repaired and find some cover. And if we can get to some cover while we're still alive, that would be a great benefit to us. There would be a KV-1. The enemy team has a lot of these heavy tanks, and we're going to hit it from behind, and that tank will go boom. It's no longer a problem, and all the crew has been barbecued. We're going to try and make sure there's no more enemies around and move up to the point to capture it. I don't want to get shot going across this street, so I'm trying to be cautious here. But once that period is over, we're going to go forward and seize this point because it is under the control of our foe. And if we can get it, that would be of great use to us if we want to win this round. I died off screen, and now we're back in the mode where the likelihood of a plane crashing into you is higher. Right away, I try to get to a point, and I'm not going to probably get credit for helping capture it. It doesn't help that 4 tanks were here before I was. Inevitably, the next objective will have to be the B point. I'm going to try and move by these buildings here and use them for cover and not be totally exposed as we try and look for enemy tanks to take a pot shot at. And if I don't see one, I'm just going to move up slightly more and just repeat that until we get into a better position. A couple tanks belonging to the other team have been located not very far away from us. It's a STA and a M4A3, a member of the M4 Sherman family. We take a shot at the M4A3. Doesn't do anything, so we're going to back up and reload and try and change our position. So when we have another go around, we'll have a better shot. Hopefully, if all goes well and they don't move somewhere crazy. So we're backing up. Our teammates are moving in on them, and so we're going to try to take a shot again. And it doesn't hit any. Well, it hit them, but it doesn't penetrate, which what matters. And the STA is still there. We hit the STA after firing into some smoke, and that's great. Part of the immediate area in front of us has been obscured by smoke, and we're firing our machine guns at what I think is a Panzer 35T. It's a German tank, and we're going to try and move forward and reach the B point. One of our teammates seem to be there, and they're capturing it, so we're going to help them out. And if we get there safely, that would be terrific. Hopefully we don't get shot by anything as we're making our way across. We're very vulnerable. And, oh, there goes the driver. He got hit. That's a STA, another STA. They just go down instantly after we fire back. And now Lee and M3 hits the turret, but they're gone within a few seconds. We have a short duel with a Cromwell. Unfortunately, we hit their treads. They hit our ammunition load, and the tank goes up in flames. On the bright side, however, our team may win this round. We return to realistic battles. We'll be fighting in Stalingrad as a M4 Sherman, which is just, We're making our way to the A point. We're traveling along with a T-34 and another M4, I think it's an M4A1, and they're going to go off their own separate ways, but we'll continue onward. We find ourselves some action as we come across a friendly Sherman fighting a Panzer, and the Panzer just got destroyed, but there may be an enemy nearby we can take out, but they seem to be well hidden, and we're probably not going to be able to shoot them until they come out somewhere in the open, which is just sad for us, isn't it? Our M4 is going to advance forward very cautiously because there may be an enemy just around the corner that could take us out with one shot, and we don't want that to happen, do we? I see a Swedish tank. It sees us too. It fires. It doesn't do much damage, clearly. We respond with a shell of our own, and it just landed in all the right places and blew it away. We surprised a Panzer at the B point. We take out one of its treads, and it's going to have limited mobility for some time. Let's go for a second round. It can't really move too fast. We fire. It hits. It doesn't really do too much. Let's go for a third round from the M4's cannon and hope that will do the trick. We fire, and the tank in front of us is destroyed. That's great. We were capturing the objective, then suddenly artillery came down and took out the tank. I'm at a loss of words. We died to artillery. In realistic battles, no less. I'm going to stop the video here. If you enjoyed the game, make sure to check it out in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to help support the channel, feel free to check out the Patreon or become a channel member. Have an awesome day. I'll see you later. Bye.